I'm going to get that.
To treasures. Howdy, my name's Case Copeland. Welcome to another conversation with Frontlines to Frontiers. Join us today, two staff members from Divergence. Introduce yourselves, guys.
Hey, how everybody doing? I'm so in awe right now because we're actually here to share to the outside world what we're doing here. So Kingsley Scott, the career development director. So greetings, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, C Square?
But you're right. This is exciting because we spent so much time. We're back behind the scenes. And the saying is how the sausage is made. To get out here and actually be talking about what we do, we should be excited. This is hard work, and I think we're doing it well.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay.
I'm Mayank Ankaraju. I'm the VA School Certifying Official here at Divergence.
Fantastic. Before we go any further, you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself? When did you start? How did you get to where you are now in this role?
Oh, man, how much time do we have? I was like, okay, I always tell people, how much time do I have?
Give us the elevator pitch. Give us a 60-second pitch.
And that's good, because that's what we also help out with students come through the program. Right. So I started out in the military, right? So I did, a little over 2 decades. Mm-hmm. And then I found myself at a decision what I want to do after the military. Mm-hmm. I love what I did inside the military, which I was a career advisor in the military. I was like, man, if that could be so awesome for me to do it on the outside. But I didn't see nothing that was available. Mm-hmm. So I came across Divergence as a student. So I came through the program not once but twice, through the cybersecurity program and through the data science. And then I kind of hung around the hallways. I like what they doing here.
Can I stay for a little bit?
Right, so can I stay? So I used to just pop in hey, anything I can help out with, any data sets I could do. And then my internship opportunity came up, and I applied myself and one of my classmates. So it was just us two from my data science class, and we did the internship. And then I still hung around the hallways. I was like, well, I'm not going to leave until they block my access, right? So another opportunity came by in when was it? Oh, man, December. So I graduated August of 21. So December of 21, opportunity came up to build out the student success department, mm-hmm. to be a part of that adventure, right? So I put that in my feedback, right? Because they say feedback, because that's what we talk about here, right? It's about mm-hmm. feedback and how can we make the program better. So when I was a student, I put in my feedback, man, it'd be sure nice to have somebody to walk through with you through the program, right? And then lo and behold.
And then we're opening it up like fortune cookies. Yeah. Like, hey, this guy's got something smart here. Maybe we should do this.
And when the opportunity came, I don't know if I was going to be offered a job, but I just said, when do I start? And he's like, well, hold on. We have to, give us your resume and let's, because there's a lot of people that wanted uh-huh. to be a part of the new team. So very tough competition. Mm-hmm. I got selected. I was like, man. Now it's my opportunity to make my dash count here for Divergence. So I was a part of that team, the career advisor team, career student success advisors. Then from there I went to lead advisor, now lead advisor, now I'm the director for career development. So right. It's been an awesome ride. A lot of ups and downs, but.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the real reason I asked about that is we'll get into this in a second. Is you've been through all of those transitions. So the challenges that we talk about with the students is that we all have been through transitions. We've all been at one place and had to get to the next, and that's really tough on a lot of layers. And you've hit each one of those transitions like a champ, of course.
Oh, man, I tell you, that imposter syndrome was right on my right shoulder, my left shoulder, just inside of me. I like, man, I don't know if I could do it, but I told myself, well, if I did something for 20 years, I think I could pivot and do something else, right? So when I came through and now I'm on the other side, now it's my chance to help others along, right? Because mm-hmm. I've been through it, so why not I be there to help others through what I've been through, right? So,
well, you got a story too. So tell us about your Divergence kind of journey.
Yeah, of course. So it's kind of funny. Actually, I was thinking back, as King was talking, I'm like, oh my gosh, I really started 2017, 2018, roughly, doing basically like a social media, I don't want to say internship, but I was an unpaid volunteer doing social media, updating the Twitter, updating the Instagram, updating Facebook for this is even before the immersive classes. Like this was we had classes called Python for data analysis. And
right, the seminars, the short pieces.
Short little seminars over the weekends. And so we used to bring people over to our tiny little campus at the time in Addison. And at the case, I know you were a student at one point, and used to bring folks like you and others and bring them along. And along the way, I actually graduated with a music production degree, entirely different, but then decided, hey, look, I really want to be part of this full time. So I got an opportunity to basically work on the financial aid effectively. Basically, as a data entry person, the person who was managing admissions at the time, she needed help in terms of just data entry. And so I'm like, okay, I can do that. That's easy, no big deal. And it ended up being, I got on the phone, I got excited, and ended up being a full-on, VA school certifying official. And that was back in 2020.
Correct.
So in 4 years.
And then the fun part about your job, and I don't know if you've ever really made this connection, is as we talk about, we are a school in IT, but we are in the business of humans. Like we are guiding them from one place to another, and we have that real human connection. Yours is often the first voice that any of our students ever talk to. And again, it's not an automated line. Like they call and a human picks up the phone. So your enthusiasm all the way through to career, the career department, your enthusiasm, they get bookended with just like our most like happiest, most excited people possible. No, it's just punishment and abuse all the way through because this challenge is tough. But y'all provide such a fantastic, again, kind of a before and after, perspective for them. So let's start with the beginning. So when they're getting into admissions, you brought up imposter syndrome. You probably deal with students who they're in the middle of transition. They're struggling. They have challenges. They have stresses. Tell us a little bit about what you do to help some of these students just get to day one.
I think imposter syndrome is huge. And it's not just, it's imposter syndrome almost before imposter syndrome when they reach admissions. Because at the end of the day, these guys are just finding out about cybersecurity or about data science or about automation even. Like this is the first time they're even hearing about any of this, right? So for them, when we're talking about Fortinet certifications or CompTIA certifications, this is brand new. When we're saying, hey, look, Security Plus is the industry standard security certification, these guys, many of them, I want to say at least 60% of them are hearing this information for the very first time. So in some ways, that's a responsibility more that maybe I don't even think about sometimes. It's just the idea that, these guys are trusting your word, that, that these certifications are going to help you land that job. And I know that's correct, because I've seen, hundreds of people do it, but it takes that, dedication to do. So it's interesting to watch that evolution, if you will, from coming to me and then, reaching the academics, reaching the schooling, and then, reaching Kingsley and the career development.
And that's awesome. Now, for some of these challenges, what are some of your reflections as far as, again, the stresses that they're in? Because these are all people who they need the next year of their life to be different than where they are. They need that job, whether it's for the family, whatever it's for. Can you talk a little about some of those stresses that students are going through in order to get to the opportunity?
Yeah. Like I'll tell you what we have one I just had recently, which is, right now, for whatever reason, there's so many people out there, in case, I know you can relate to this, teachers, right? Folks who are out there that, they're teaching, they love teaching, but they're tired of maybe lack of pay, or they're tired of not being, they're tired of being where they are, right? So they come in just ready for that career transition. And even though they know nothing about cybersecurity or data science or what have you, they want to come in because they want to help their families. They want to, bring in more income and make a better life for themselves, So it's the idea then of figuring out, okay, which is the best pathway for you? So oftentimes it's, hey, what schedule makes the most sense? Do you want to be hands-on? Do you want to be a little bit more hands-off? What's the best pathway that makes sense for you? And then at that point, then they reach the best, the instructor team and folks like Kingsley.
Right, because there's got to be a whole set of questions that you have to engage them with just to help them take the step in the right direction. Like, which program do you want to get into? Are you able to come to Dallas for the program?
Right.
That's a big challenge that they got to deal with. And then so that initiates their metamorphosis, this giant transformation that they get into. We talk about it all the time, everything that we do beyond content, because in some aspects, the technical learning is the easiest part of this transition that they got to go through. The book knowledge, that's the easy part. It's all the other professional development that's necessary in order to be hireable. And I'm going to say something, I don't mean this to sound bad, but it's one of those things like, if it's not that they're not hireable, if they could already be hired, they wouldn't need us. Right. So they need development in all these different layers, and that's where you have a job. And the reason we talked about your pathway is because you have a lot of that professional development, the career development in your background. So you know what it takes for people to actually be hired, because the one thing that's true, in order to get a job, somebody has to want to hire you.
Right.
So what do you focus on? How do you help them get through that aspect of the challenge?
First thing I tell people is you have to know yourself. In order for you to go somewhere, you need to know who you are, right? Like, you have to know. And I tell people, I'll say, okay, it's the right now and it's the so what. How we gonna solve it? Okay, you get the certification, so what? But what are you gonna do right now to get to that organization that needs your talent? that needs your personality. How are you going to get there?
And they're probably not ready for this. They didn't realize that this was going to be part of the task. They thought they were here for training.
And that's one thing that my uncle and his team does well, right? He tells them, like, hey, it's not going to be an easy journey. You know, you could go on YouTube, you could go on, you know, social media platform and look at videos and stuff, but you don't have that human connection, right? Because when you get out there in the field, you're going to be dealing with humans for the most part. Like, they still have to, regardless of how much automation is going on out there, somebody is still behind that keyboard pressing a button. Right. Somebody is still in front of that keyboard requesting services. So how are you going to translate what you learn to how you're going to deliver? How are you going to do it? Some people don't know how. You know, because we have people from all different walks of life. Like, I tell my young, I said, you believe it or not, I get nervous when I come and I talk to people on events like this, right? He's like, man, there's no way, because it's the internal side is like, you know, the imposter syndrome, right? It kicks in.
What are you doing here? You don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Why would anybody listen
Right.
to you?
You don't know what all you have to, all you know how to do is press Control Delete. Like, you don't know. And I tell people, you didn't know how to drive a car until when? You learn how to drive a car. You didn't know how to run until when? You learn how to run. Right? So, and that's why I tell them, like, when they come through the program, and Al and I are going to have a conversation, and just about the beginning, the middle, and the end. The transition. Because every part is a transition. They had a transition from, I don't know if I'm going to do this, to let me find a location. Oh, this is Divergence. I like the website. It's awesome. It looks nice. Let me contact somebody from Monroe. Every part is a transition. Every part is you have to evolve, right? You got to evolve from admissions to the classroom time.
It's an avatar character. You're constantly leveling up.
And what are you going to do when it's time for you to show your talent, to show your skill set, to show your personality? In the career development department, it's more than just developing. That's an ongoing thing. The word is an action word, right? Developing. How are you going to transition what you know to translate from here onto here, out to here? How are you going to do it? Some people don't know how, or some people are too, I'll say, too anxious or too scared or too whatever, fill in the blank. But we have proven framework to show, like, hey, be yourself, see what the company is looking for, and make sure it's the way it could fit.
And there's so much more than just the resume. The resume, of course, it's the artifact. But I know the thing we want to talk about. Let's hear about the new career development center. Did I say that right?
Professional Development Center.
Professional Development
Career
Center,
Development Department. We offer career services.
Okay.
Right. It's a mouthful, but it makes sense when you look at the total from, and I look at it as, you know, you're being born. I call it, if anybody's pivoting into the cyber industry, just think of it as a birth. You didn't know the language, right? We're young. Our first words are goo goo gaga, and then it goes to no. Then you know what I'm saying? Like, we learn the language as we go. From the scooting back and forth to the crawling and falling, to the walking, to the running, to the sprint. You see what I'm saying? It's all an evolution.
Well, and I imagine a lot of that imposter syndrome is really rooted in the vulnerability. Just knowing that you are not, you know, you're not a finished product yet. You know, you're not polished. Yeah, you're still rough. You got to go through those cycles to get polished, to get those edges.
And it's very, and I keep looking at cause I remember my young, when I first came through the program, I thought I had a big smile, but he has a bigger smile, right? But it just, when you see my young, like, man, everything is gonna be okay. Yeah. Even though I didn't know what I was doing, but I had experience in the previous sector. I was in the military for over 20 years. Like, yeah, I know that, but I didn't know tech. But I knew tech, but I didn't know how to translate what I've known previous to what I know now. You see what I'm saying? So where can the Career Development Department, Career Services, Professional Development Center help others that's trying to translate what they already have to where they're trying to go?
Right, because there's a conversion metric in there somewhere, which, getting onto the Professional Development Center, I know you're going to be housed down there, so as new students are going to be coming to the school now, first first face they're going to see. It's the first office they're going to get to. They're going to get to see all this. What are you excited about the Professional Development Center?
I could not be more excited about the PDC, Professional Development Center, mainly because when folks are walking into Divergence, instead of seeing a bunch of classrooms where they can't interact because, the students are, our learners are deep in classroom space. They're deep in learning, right? We can't show them around easily, right? When they're coming in for a tour, we can't show them what's going on. What's great about the new Professional Development Center is when they're walking in, they get to see folks actually in real time, actually going through, whether it's briefing for CompTIA certifications or for career workshops and what have you. They'll get to see them live in action right there. We'll have a testing center. So they'll actually get to, firsthand, they'll get to see how that's like, that process of putting your stuff away in a locker and concentrating and focusing and getting those industry certs that are going to mean so much as they're going out there. And probably more importantly, and probably the most exciting part is the makerspace.
Oh yeah,
the makerspace is going to be incredible because they can go in there, honestly, maybe even not just on day one, but maybe day -1, maybe day 0, actually going in and trying some Raspberry Pi, trying the 3D printers or what have you, like just technology that's out there.
Just a fun workshop space.
Get their feet wet. Yeah,
that's exciting. All right. What else? Anything else y'all want to promote? Anything else you want to give a shout out to? And again, I love this combination here because this is a real, it's the bookending of that whole transformation experience, the before and after photo. Anything else y'all are excited about you want to talk about real quick?
I want to talk about the levels or how the career development starts and then it expands out.
Okay.
Right? Of course, we have the essentials, right? So everybody should have this, like the essentials. It's just like, brushing your teeth, combing your hair, putting on your shoes, putting on the basic needs to survive.
That's the core tenet.
Right, the core tenet. There we go. Like sometimes our Brooklyn needs come out. So things came, with the educational background, to let me know that, but that's the great thing, right? Because we all come from different backgrounds. But in order for me to say and for you to understand, yes, that's exactly what I mean. So essentials, right? So we talk about the career readiness workshop, right? What does that include? It's 6 elements, right? So we have the first 60-second pitch, right? Because you have to introduce yourself. People need to know who you are. Or, how you move around in the room, how you interacting. Like, are you approachable? Are you likable? Like these things get you to the interview. Eventually, it'll get you to the position. Next thing is going from there. You gotta have goals, right? You gotta have goals. Or you should have goals, right? If you're trying to be deliberate and be laser focused on where you're trying to go, right? So that's number 2. And then we talk about number 3, right? Firstly, so you have those 2, and now in the digital age, what we need to have digital media presence, right? So we're gonna show you how to optimize your LinkedIn profile and how to navigate out there in the social media realm to look for those recruiters, look for those opportunities, seek those positions that's out there. Because it's not going to come to you. You have to go out there for it.
Right. That would be easy. I'm just going to sit here and all the companies are going to come find me.
No. You need to go out there and hunt.
Yeah.
You have to go out there and hunt. That's why it's called. Why do you think it's called a job hunt? It's not a job chill.
Literally the word that it's
right.
used.
Right. It's in the word, right? Job hunt. You have to go out there on the hunt. Sharpen your spear. Go out there on the hunt. But you're not going to go out there or just where to go. No, we're going to help you target your resume. That's CRW4, targeted resumes. And then once that resume gets you to the table where we're sitting at, something like this, the interview table, and you get past that stage, number 5 is what? Offer. So you get that offer. Like, oh, man, so now you're so excited, right? Because, like, man, I have this information. They're about to take me to the next level. And then now you get this piece of paper with the offer in there. But you're like, okay, what do I do? Okay, what now?
Don't trip at the finish
line.
line.
Right. What now? Okay, keep a calm head, take a deep breath. Okay, but we're gonna share. Hey, thank you for the offer. Can I get back to you in 72 hours? That's when you look it over, right? Total compensation package. So we're gonna teach them the offer and negotiation, right? And then the packaged up is to, after everything is finished, you turn. Yes, I'm gonna accept the offer. Thank you. I can't wait to get started. And then we're going to teach you how to package it all up, right? Send a thank you letter, thank you note, and show up at the first day. So that's the essentials.
Just good practices.
Just good practice, right? And then we go from essentials to the advanced, right? Okay. So the advanced, y'all ready for this? So the advanced is workshops.
Embedded throughout the program.
Correct, yes. So we have We have Tuesday, what we call a CRW Jumpstart workshop. So every Tuesday, we host a career readiness workshop jumpstart. Because people's like, man, why jumpstart? Think of a dead car, a dead battery. You bring that energy, you put it on there, jumpstart, right? So we're gonna give your career that jumpstart every Tuesday. Every Tuesday. Friday, we're gonna have lunch and learns. We're gonna have subject matter experts come out. We're gonna have recruiters and hiring managers and we invite them in. Hey, come check out our talent.
Because all of these are learning engagements.
Right.
Like you have to be immersed in interacting with the ecosystem. You have to.
Right.
Well, there's a lot more to get into with the professional, the 4 phases, the essentials, the advanced, the catalyst, and the pro.
Yes.
But we're going to have a future conversation with the director of student success.
Okay, yes.
So right now, we'll say that I'm excited that you are the first voice that people see whenever they get to sign up with us, and then you get to walk them through that finish line. Because in a sense, it's the most fun of what we always say. Like, you're only going to be a student with us for a moment, but you'll be an alumni with us forever. So that way we get to see that before and after, and then wherever they go from that. So super exciting. Guys, appreciate your time. Enjoyed it. Whoops, almost made a mess. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Hayes.
Hey, and thank y'all for listening. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.